My band Jagged is in the same boat as you. Over the last year, we've played some shows, we've gained some followers on Instagram, we released our first new music, but we're still a few feet off the starting line. And as the new year approaches in 2025, I want more from my band, and I'm sure you do too. The new year represents an opportunity to start fresh in every aspect of your life. A lot of us want to eat healthier, work out more, and quit some bad habits, but why not have some New Year's resolutions for your band as well? And in this video, I'll give you 5 New Year's resolutions for your band so you can take over the world with me while our bands go on tour. If I were you, I'd write down every resolution specifically and think about how you can apply this to your band. And if you do all 5 of these things, I guarantee you, your band will be in much better shape next year than at the end of 2024. Let's start with the New Year's resolution 1. This is no longer just for fun. Unfortunately, if your main goal is to tour the world and be famous in your band, this can no longer just be fun. If you're dedicated, then this is work. But did you ever expect it to be easy? I mean, one of the biggest industries in the entire world, and you thought it would just fall into your lap? Well, think again, buddy, because it ain't gonna be easy. The reason this is number 1 is because this is the foundation, this is the cornerstone of your musical career. If you don't agree with this and you want your band to just be for fun, so be it. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's all it's ever gonna be. But if that's not what you want, then you need to accept that this path is going to take a lot of work. Here we go, resolution number 2. Tell your bandmates we're through. You're gonna need to have a difficult conversation with your bandmates, maybe after your next jam session, but you need to sit them down. As if you were breaking up with your girlfriend, you ask them, where do you see the band in the next year, 2 years, 5 years? If you and your girlfriend don't see eye to eye on that topic, you probably should do the responsible thing and break up with each other. The same thing applies to your band. Many of us don't even know where our bandmates stand on this situation, but if you're not seeing eye to eye, you need to make some difficult decisions. The cold hard truth is that if you're the only one doing the heavy lifting in the band, getting shows, writing music, making content, it's going to be much harder to see your band thrive. Imagine 4 of you versus just 1 of you. 4 people can easily move a couch. If you have just 1 person, good luck pushing. Most bands get popular after years of hard work together when everyone is more or less on the same page. So if you and your bandmates aren't on the same page, cut the slack, cut and release what's holding you back. That was a bar. You give them the boot, you send them to the vault, you kick the ass out, and Johnny, your bass line sucked anyway. We don't horse around in this band anymore. It's not the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse anymore. This is serious, and if you're not serious, I'll see you later, my boy. Hopefully there's one guy in the band who's also on the same page as you, so while you cut the other slack, you and him can focus on finding a new drummer, guitarist, whatever you need. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a hard but important step. Fortunately, me and my bandmates are all relatively on the same page, so I don't have to do this, but these aren't just my bandmates. A lot of times you're in bands with your best friends, and to remove your best friend from your band, it sucks. You want to keep playing with them, but this is a business now, and this is potentially your life, and that is probably as serious as anything is ever going to get. So resolution number 2, tell your bandmates we're through. Resolution number 3, record some music, baby. In today's social media era, it might feel like music actually isn't that important anymore, but truthfully, no one cares about your band unless you have good music to start with. Everything else should come after the good music. Of course, that sounds simple enough, but a lot of bands play gigs and they have nothing for the people at those gigs, potential new fans that can really become fans, to take home. Dozens of people are going to come up to you after your shows, asking you where they can stream your music, and you have to look them in the eye and say, I can text it to you. It's the streaming era, bro. You get your music out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Get your music out on there and then go play the live show. For me, this is the most fun part, recording. Seeing my songs come to life and having something tangible that I can listen to in my car and show people in real life. It's an amazing feeling. It's also relatively stupidly inexpensive to release music on Spotify. Hold on, give me a second. $22 a year and you can release as much music as you could ever want for the entire world to hear. And that's like 2 hours of work at McDonald's. Very inexpensive.
I have a link in the description for a referral code on DistroKid. Use that one if you plan on signing up after this video.
Now, to break even on this payment, you need around 5,000 streams across all of the streaming platforms. Now, that might seem like a lot, but at the end of this year, you're gonna be getting that weekly, bro. Now, recording music is a different story. This is where it becomes expensive. You have 2 options here. You can either learn to produce and record music yourself, which is gonna take months, if not years, to actually get good at, or you can pay someone else to do it. I actually almost like having a producer because I don't want us to be in an echo chamber. If something's not right, I want someone from the outside to tell us. That's what a good producer would do. They'll give you feedback on your lyrics, your melodies, your overall song structure. These guys have a lot of experience, so if you don't let it hurt your ego, you can really gain a lot of knowledgeable insights. Now, ways you can reduce the amount of money you're going to spend on your recording process is, first of all, you need to learn to practice with a metronome. In the studio, you're going to play to a click. Let's say you have a song at 170 BPM. Play that song 100 times on your own to just the click. And then when you're recording it, hopefully you'll be able to do it in just one take. Because if you're not ready for it, you've never played with the click before, you're going to get in the studio and you're going to do it like 12 to 15 times, and every time you fail is money just rolling out of your pocket. Every minute you spend in the studio is money that you're spending. Also, having your lyrics and melodies ready to go for you singers, try not to come up with things on the spot there. Although improvisation can happen, it should happen as an extra, as a potential extra, not as something you're relying on. And don't waste any time, don't have any distractions. I know it's cool to have your girlfriend in the studio and you're just playing these beats in front of her, but she's distracted and you get rid of that.
Retch out the chorus, and you punch the top, man.
Okay.
And hit this note right here, and muzzle that.
Doing all these things right could potentially save you hundreds of dollars. If you've recorded 0 songs in 2024, I could say to release just 1 song would be an improvement, and it would be. Now you finally have something out. That's a huge step. But this ain't the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse anymore, man. Jagged released 6 songs across 6 months in 2024. And we plan to release probably around 8 in 2025. And this is why singles are also a good thing. But don't get it wrong, I don't want to write singles. I want to write an album or an EP. But unfortunately, people don't really give a shit about us yet. And people likely don't give a shit about your band if you're watching this video too. It's okay. We're in the same boat. But singles are fun in their own way. You get to create hype for every song you're releasing, not just once for an EP or an album. Now, it is about 5 times the work versus just releasing the EP, but people are more likely to listen to every single song that you release rather than the 5 you have it on EP. People don't have time to listen to music anymore. And if they do listen to your EP, they're probably listen to the first 1, 2, 3 songs if you're lucky. But with a single, you guarantee that that random 6th or 7th song of your album that people probably wouldn't listen to every song to, yet to, is going to be listened to. So, let's say you've recorded 5 songs, your producer's done mixing and mastering them. What now? Well, this is when you put the drumsticks down, you put the guitar down, and you realize that you are no longer a musician, but you are now a businessman. Again, this is another reality you have to accept. Making music is the fun part, but it is half the battle. The other half is learning to market the music. There are so many bands that have the potential to blow up. Hell, one of them is probably your band, but no one knows who you are because you don't know how to market your music. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Jagged had the best marketing plan of all time. We didn't. There was a lot of things we could have and should have done better that we are going to do better in the next run. So I want you to learn from my mistakes so you don't make the same mistakes and you save potentially a bunch of releases from performing poorer than they could have. Now that you're ready to release your music, let's run you through a quick 3-step checklist before your release. Number 1, pick a release date at least 5 weeks in the future. Why 5 weeks? Well, you need time for all the miscellaneous stuff like art, credits, lyrics. You don't want to be rushed into release date. Number 2 is to pitch your music at least 3 to 4 weeks before your song drops through Spotify's pitch to editorial playlists. Spotify has this feature where you can pitch your song to the people that put together like Rap Caviar or Hardcore Gardening, I think it's called. And this is a chance for you to get thousands of new listeners. Personally, we've never been put on these playlists, but it's worth a shot. I don't think the actual pitch matters that much. I've seen mixed results on Reddit. That's another benefit of doing singles. You can pitch every song. In an EP or an album, you can only pitch 1 song. That's a 5 times higher chance that you're going to be put on one of these playlists. I'm not going to cover exactly how the pitching process works. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube, and I don't want to drag out this one, but be creative, which is number 3. Put your creative cap on, because you are a musician. I'm sure you're a great one, and you're coming up with these beautiful chord progressions and these melodies, and the way the song structure is just so complex and beautiful. Don't stop there. Be creative in your marketing. Just like you want people to hear something they've never heard before with your music, your marketing should be something no one's ever thought of before. I wouldn't recommend following the trends of guess who the guitarist is, even though we used to do stuff like that. Yeah, you might get some followers on TikTok, but does it matter if they don't care about your music? Make your marketing special and look at popular bands and don't copy what they did in the video. Instead, watch the logistics of the video and see what the algorithm likes. What makes a good video compelling? What makes the viewer want to keep watching? These are the things you should watch in these popular bands videos, not copy their ideas. And then the hard part that no one wants to do is I want you to release a piece of content on one of the social media platforms once a day, every day until your song releases. This is what separates the people that are going to make it from the people that aren't going to make it, I think. I have no idea really. I'm kind of just talking out of my ass. But it's the people that are willing to do that hard work, the tedious work of editing and thinking of content. It's literally putting a grimace on my face, but it's what you have to do in today's era. And if you're the one that's going to be willing to do it, you are the one that's going to succeed. I'm going to repeat it one more time before I start beating a dead horse, but this is a business now, and you need to do boring stuff just like work. Part of it has to be boring, but that's usually what's actually going to reap you the rewards. Why release music if no one's going to see it? Show it to the world, man. That's the whole point of this. And you show this to the world with the best opportunity that musicians have ever had to spread their music through social media. You're just one video away from blowing up. So keep going at it. And now you've released music. And this brings us to resolution number 4. Play gigs more. Jagan has successfully played a gig every month since June, and hopefully next year it's 2 a month. So a lot of people in this space think gigs are hard to get, but I think I've kind of cracked the code in what you need to do to get the most opportunities possible. You just kind of gotta have some basic people skills, and I think it really kind of falls in your lap. First of all, you should be going to local shows in the venues you want to play at every weekend. If you have nothing to do on a Friday night, instead of drinking off, eating Cheetos, and watching Breaking Bad, go to a local show. Here's what will likely happen when you go to a local show. You'll drag yourself out and you'll get there, and the first emotion you might feel is jealousy, because your dog shit band is better than that dog shit band. So how come they got the opportunity but you didn't? But you push it to the side, and then you kind of start to have fun. The music actually is kind of good, and you make friends. After the band set, you go up to them and tell them that, hey, you did a good job, man. And you keep talking with that guy, and you ask him, yo, how'd you get this gig? And then he says, oh yeah, Bouncy Paper Towel Roll Metal Booking gave it to me. And then you see someone, the same person that took your money at the door, who also happens to have some paper towel rolls all over him. You see him and you go up to him and you ask him, yo, how'd you get into booking? How long you been doing this, man? I appreciate what you're doing here. I love the scene, even though this is your first show. I sound like a bad person. Shit. Maybe I shouldn't drop this. Hey, you seem like a really good person, and I'm in a band too. I was wondering if you have any opportunities in the next month or so. He says, yeah, bro, check my Instagram, man. And you add him up and you send him your band that now has music out, and you send your Instagram, all this stuff. And then a week later, he responds and tells you, yo, I have a gig open for later this month, and now you have your show. And rinse and repeat this, and soon enough, you'll have more gigs than you can probably handle. Now, this is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is the dude's a jerk, or you DM them and they don't answer, because that happens to the best of us. It's going to happen, and don't get disheartened. They probably are getting hundreds of messages a day from shitty bands like us that want to play at their gigs. So hit them up. If they don't answer like 5 weeks later, don't send them 2 texts a day like, please let me play, please let me play. You don't want to annoy them. I don't think we should just take. I don't think we should just be given a gig. You kind of got to give something in return. I offered to backline my bass amp a lot. We backline the drum kit because it's a thank you to the guy putting it on for letting us play the gig, and now everything runs more smoothly. It's a little thank you. And that takes us to resolution number 5. Don't give up. You gotta get your head straight, and you gotta get your priorities straight. There are certain things you're going to need to sacrifice, and this is kind of going to become your life. Progress, of course, is slow at first, but if you don't even believe it's possible in the first place, might as well give up, man. I have a YouTube channel with 166,000 subscribers, and that might not seem like a lot, but my first video got like 14 views. And then science blesses you, and suddenly you have millions of views and thousands of subscribers. These things happen all the time. You just can't give up, and you gotta push through when you don't get the results you're seeing. Songs of mine that I think should have done better didn't. I can let that stop me? No. But I do want to close with this. I said that this can no longer be just for fun. New Year's resolution 1. This is no longer just for fun, but it needs to always be fun. You need to find the fun in the grind. You need to find the fun in the tedious part of putting the gigs together and getting the gigs and all this stuff that actually leads up to the big moment, because this is going to be your life, right? We want to be musicians because we think that it's going to be more fun than having a desk job somewhere. But if you're not going to be having fun with it, what's the point? Personally, I have fun making these stupid videos. I have fun editing TikToks. It doesn't have to be tedious and boring. I know I've said that a lot. I'm just trying to relate to you on the level that you might be at. But doing vlogs is fun. Making music is fun. This whole process is fun, and you need to learn to fall in love with it. So have fun every step of the way, because if not, then again, what's the damn point? This is my plan for Jagan in 2025, and I hope this is your plan for your band, or I hope you have a concept of a plan at least. Remember, I'm your competition. I'm coming for you. I'm just kidding. We can both play Rockville in 2026. I would really appreciate it if you subscribed to Jaggin, if you checked out the music. My personal suggestion is to start with Song 93. A link for that will be in the description. Stream Jaggin forever, and yeah, I'll see you at the top.